Evening, ladies and gents. If you can see my screen and if you can hear my voice, do raise your hand on the Zoom app to so that we know that we are in business. Awesome, awesome. Good evening, ladies and gents. My name is Njabulo Nsibande. Simon will not be joining us this evening because he's attending um, the Index Trackers Award. The Index Trackers Award. So this is for the Trader, 24th of March, 2021. So we'll get started in just a bit. Just not really a disclaimer, just a reminder that you can lose more than what you start with in the CFD markets. Again, Thick Markets run a weekly webinar. You can join them on the link there. So let's get back straight into some charts. So in the week, I got stopped out on Exaro. Um, I got stopped on Exaro. Just want to pull up the questions window so that in the chat. Cool. So I got stopped in Exaro around that point there, around 169 and some change there. When the stock broke down, not too bad. As you can see, it was breaking back into a lower box, and if it does that, I do not want to hold a stock that does that. And the loss on that was around one, just over, just under 2%, a little over 2%, 2.2% on that trade, including the swaps that were incurred in the process. Another one I got stopped in is African Rainbow. So African Rainbow is a little bit different than 2Xaro. No problem, Graham. The videos are all up on YouTube. We'll drop the link straight after this. So we got stopped on African Rainbow when so yesterday, I believe, was the ex-div. They were paying the announced 10 Rand dividend. So I put the wrong date on the journal. So yeah, I got stopped there. I was supposed to move my stop by the dividend amount, which would have landed me somewhere around there. I'm not sure I would have survived that. So I did miss out on the dividend on Exaro. However, if it does trade back about, if it closes above that 274, 275, I'll just jump back into the trade. However, if it's going down, I don't want to be in that trade. Another stock that I got stopped in is BHP. That 426 was the level to which I got stopped at. So far it's still continuing. If I was stubborn and kept on holding the trade, I would have lost a little bit more than I currently did. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait for a break through that trend line there, and then I'll retake the position, and then I'll add again when we break through that 491.50 level again. And another one that I got stopped. So the stop loss trigger was triggered on last Wednesday. This is where it got triggered, and it gapped in the morning. So I got a little slightly better price on my exit there. I got exited at 62 Rand 8 cents there. So, and similarly, if I was stubborn and not disciplined, I would have lost quite a bit more on that trade. So back to the open trades, I'm still holding Aspen. So the market has been quite bleak over the past 2 weeks, since last week and this week has been quite a strong correction there. But I'm still holding Aspen. My stop loss is still well out of traffic, and the support level still looks quite good. And so the 50-day exponential moving average has been broken there, as you can see. Also, the 60-day exponential moving average has been broken, but that support level there still holds quite a bit. So we'll see how it reacts when it gets to the support. But when you close above that last close there, that last high close, when you close above 152, or if we get a new high close around that 154, I'll add into this position. And the last time we closed above this level was back in uh, July of, what is it? July 2020. So the last time we closed above 155, around 154, was back in July of 2020. So that if we get a close above that 154, I'll add into the position and throw my stop accordingly. Next, Capitec, still holding Capitec, nice bullish engulfing candle there, breaking through that bull flag on the stock. So my risk on the trade has my risk on the trade has reduced to just under 3%. So when we get a close through this resistance there around that 1,458, I'll add into the position and pull my stop accordingly if the risk on at that time is less than 2%. So Hammond is asking how I place the stop on here on Aspen. So I was these lows. So when it broke there, these lows were first when I first entered the stock on this bull flag break. Just put it there. On the break of that bull flag there, that's when I entered the trade and put my stop below the low of the bull flag. But there was another low lurking there. That's where I put the stop, and I quite like it where it is at the moment. As you can see, this support has been holding. This 137 support has been holding quite well on Aspen. So next, Coronation. So like any other stock in the market, the past couple of weeks, Coronation has been correcting as well, but not as hard as some of the stocks that we've seen over the past couple of weeks since last week. So I'm waiting for a breakthrough that 52 Rand, above 53 Rand. If we get a close above that 52 Rand 50 level, I'll add into my position and also trail my stop and put my stop somewhere around those levels there, around that 48 Rand 70 level. Nice stop out of traffic, or perhaps below those lows there. I like putting my stop well out of traffic, and if it means putting a smaller position in the market to allow for a wider stop, I'm happy to go that route. Yeah, but at the moment, that 48 or below those lows there at around 47, that's where I'll be looking to throw my stop to on Coronation. Next is Discovery. So similarly, man, a strong correction there, broken that 50-day exponential moving average, but my stop has not been touched off yet, as it was below those lows there, below that bull flaggish break there. So the first entered on the break into this new box, and then I added on the position on the break of the bull flag. And I'm looking to add again into this position on the break through this resistance level there. And then again, when we break through finally onto that 154, 154 and 176 box. Um, so the uh, Nkosing Pile is asking if he doesn't see the margin requirements. So the margins get deducted as I enter the position from my current balance, so it doesn't show anywhere on this data window. So it gets deducted as I enter the position, and then I get charged swaps every evening at 12 o'clock, going into the next day. Amongst my one of my favorite trades is Distal. Also suffered a little bit of a correction there, but I'm waiting for a close above that 125, and then I'll add up into my position and trail my stop below that bull flag there, um, and or just below those lows there. But it'll kind of depend on where the 50-day exponential moving average is. If it's close enough, I'll just put it just underneath that 50-day exponential moving average. But I'm still liking to still quite a bit. Another one is Fushimi. Fushimi looking good. Nice bullish engulfing candle there, breaking into a higher box. Haven't added into my position as yet. If I jump back to my weekly chart, these two haven't crossed as yet. Still about 3 odd rand away from crossing, but I'm convinced that above that 131 level, um, uh, they would have crossed, and I'll take the trade. And also, quite significantly, we would have broken that resistance there, which was support prior to that collapse there in 2020. So that above that 131 level, it's a nice strong level. It was support. Now it will be a nice resistance level as we enter into a higher box on Fushimi. Glencore also suffered a pullback, entering into a lower box, but hasn't touched my stop as yet. Jump back to a daily chart. It hasn't touched my stop as yet. Also, I believe broken through that 50-day exponential moving average, but looking like it's reversing. But we'll see. If I do get stopped, I'll lose around just under 2% on the trade. As you can see, the initial trade slightly in profit in terms of where the stop loss is put at the moment. Impala. So I reduced my stop on Impala by the dividend amount that was paid. I did receive a bit of some dividends last week, about 100 rand worth of dividends, just over 100 rand worth of dividends on Impala, looking like the dividend price action has been played off already. The stock breaking back into a higher box, not going to add into the trade until we break through that 291 level. It looks like the support there at was the support around 255 is holding quite well as support there. So looking good on Impala there. Mondi, another one looking good. Nice bullish engulfing candle there. Nice bullish. A doji plus a bullish engulfing candle plus testing that 50-day exponential moving average. This just spells bullish. So I'm going to add into this position once we break through that. Once we close above that high close there. Once close above that 391, as you can see, it got tested quite a bit after that false break there. I want to close above that 391 level or add into the position and trail my stop somewhere to that level there, just below that swing low there. Uh, Quite a decent place to trail a stop. And I think my earliest position would be in break even at that point, and that risk will be reduced to just under or just over 1%. I haven't done the math as yet. Mr. Price, so we had a nice breakthrough on Mr. Price on the announcement of the purchase of Yabishev. And as you can see, that resistance level there that got turned on that break there um, held today, held quite well on that move, rather on that sell off there, on that correction. Once it got to that support, it just stopped and turned back, gapped to the support, and now turning back into the upside. I'll add into this trade above that 193 level. Once you get a close above 193, I'll just add into the position and throw my stop accordingly. Perhaps below those lows there, below that 50-day exponential moving average, or just bang on the. If I just bring back the line chart. Line charts are much cleaner, like line charts. Perhaps just below that low there, and once it start to properly move onto a higher box and then properly then trade it to below that swing low there. I'd like giving my stop a little bit of room. I'd rather take a small position than taking a tight stop. You could, of course, make the stop loss quite tight, but that's not how I do it. Multi choice. Just bring back the candles. Multi-choice has been toying, false breakthrough, that bullish flag all over the place, came back. But what I'm liking with multi-choice is that 124 level is just holding nice and well as support. Um, Once we break through that level there, actually once we break through uh, 140, want to close above 140, above 139, I'll add into the position and throw my stop accordingly. And then that traffic will be just clean, and then I'll move my stop accordingly. Next is Northern. Northern coming back into a lower box, but not touching my stop as yet. And this is why I like giving my stops a little bit of room to cater for a little bit of volatility in the market. So still holding Northern quite nicely. My stop has not been touched off as yet, but if it does get touched off, I'll be out of the position and then back in if we do break back above that 258. But I don't think I'll get stopped, but I don't know if I won't get stopped. But if I do, that's also fine. If I don't, even better. But I think we'll in profit on Northern in terms of where my stop is. If not, bitterly close. Let me see. Yeah, my risk on I'm basically at break even. So if I get stopped, I lose nothing other than the swaps that I've been carrying, which are very small, uh, um, a small amount to relative to my portfolio. Okay. Eldritch is asking, why am I not adding to multi-choice above 124? Where is 124? So I'm not going to add into a losing position. So I don't average on losers. So for me to add into a new position, the first one or the last position I've taken on the trade needs to be in profit. So that's why I can. That's why I'll only add onto multi-choice um, above 140. Because what I'll be doing if I buy here, I'll just be increasing my risk because I can't pull my stop tight enough. And if I put my stop where it is right now, I'll be just be instead of yeah, because I'm very strict on managing risk and risk per trade. I don't want to lose anything more than 2 to 3% on one trade, and that so the risk itself on the trade needs to be less than 2% or at most 2%. And then that other 1% is for slippage, for swaps and that sort of thing. So I don't want to lose anything more than 2%. And if I do add it on that 124 level, I'll just be adding on the losing trade. I'll be buying on the way down. So my philosophy is buying on the way up. not on the way down. Where were we? Oh, Pepco. Pepco looking good. Nice breakthrough there. Came back. Testing that resistance there, holding like as if I think it's holding like it supports. Yeah, looking good. I think I'm going to add into the position once we break through that level there, on uh, above 1650. I'll add into the position, trail my stop a little bit closer, or probably just add as we enter into above 18 rand, as we enter into a higher box, because there's not a close in a nice spot to put my stop as yet. So Anonymous is asking how much was my total deposit on this account. So I started, first deposit was 1,000 rand, and I've been adding over time. So in total, I've added 9,000 rand on this account. So I'm down. Let me see. Account summary. So I'm down just a little over 10% in terms of where the balance is, and I'm up a little over 10% of a little over 5% on just quickly update, and I'll give you the exact number in just a sec. Yeah, I'm up 6.74% with regards to where the equity is at the moment. So yeah, 9,000 rand is now 9,600. Not too bad. Yeah. So on the breakthrough that 17 rand, I'll add into my position and pull my stop below that swing low there. If this low does not get violated over between now and then, that's where I'll put my stop. Quota looking nice and decent. We had a very strong break, and I think it was a share buyback that prompted this. Can't recall exactly. However, it really doesn't matter why the stock broke quite strongly there. All it matters is that it did break. So I'm going to add into the position above that 3450 level, and trade my stop to below that swing low there, which is also below that 50-day exponential moving average. Nice tweezer bottom there. Test, very, very close to that 50-day exponential moving average on Quilter. I'm liking Quilter quite a bit. So above 34 rand, I'll add into the position and throw my stop accordingly. Royal Bafokeng Platinum, spring back there. I got breaking back into a lower box, but it hasn't touched off my stop as yet. And the reason why my stop is so far on this particular stock is because of the experience that we had in the beginning of when I first bought the stock. So I first bought on the breakthrough. Why is it locked? On the breakthrough there, on the breakthrough that 65 rand level. That's where I first bought, and then I added into the position when we broke through there as well. Again, when I added to the position when we were there. Once we close above that 120, 119 level, I'll add into the position, and I'll trade my stop accordingly. I'm liking Royal Bafokeng quite a bit at the moment. Nkosimpile, I'm trading part-time. I have a full-time job. I'm a software developer by profession. And part of the reason why I choose to trade non-continuous markets that have a closing time is for that reason. The only data that matters to me is the closing price. And I get that once I've knocked off that work, because the JSE closes at 10 to 5 in the evening. So I can only make trading decisions on the close. I don't make any trading decision intraday. So because intraday I'm focusing on my job. So trading is something that I do part time on the side. I do, however, have ambitions of doing trading full time, and perhaps diversifying myself and trading the US markets as well, perhaps the European markets as well. Once the um, this guy here is big enough for me to trade full time. But for now, I'm still trading part time, and that's just the thing. You don't need necessarily to quit your job or to be trading full time in order to trade effectively or in order to make money in the market. You just need a strategy that fits your personality and that fits your schedule. And for me, trading daily charts that fits me quite perfectly. And in the market, the big money is made um, on the big moves, and you get intraday. Those movements are quite small for my liking. So yeah, that's why I'm actually just trading the daily charts with a bigger perspective. I'm looking at the weekly charts. So Rand mentioned holding. So I entered on that perfect break there. It was looking quite lekker. But because of that volatility happening, that I decided to pull my stop to below the to a lower box. So I'm going to add into the position above that, above 34 rand, close above 34 rand. I'll add into my position and trail my stop accordingly. But I'm liking the stock at the moment, looking quite lekker. It gapped down in the morning, but closed a little bit higher. And there was a since announcement on director dealings. Sapi looking good. So broke through nicely. It looked like it was rallying higher, but then the correction over the past 2 weeks also it also suffered a little bit of correction. But as you can see, that indecision candle there around that support level looking quite nice. Above 52 rand, I'll add into the position. And I was chatting with Simon a little bit earlier. Much of the selling off in our market is partly due to the U.S. Treasury, the U.S. Interest rates. I think the T-bills are slightly higher than normal. Now there's more value from there's a higher risk-free investment in the government bonds in the US there. So people are just moving money from emerging markets and putting it in a much safer place, because investors typically come to emerging markets for higher yields. But if the US government is giving you a risk-free high yield, you might as well take that one. Shoprite came out with strong results last week, looking quite lekker, but also did not survive the correction. But it was not badly corrected as the others, so that's even better. So above the want to close above 164, I'll add into my position and trail my stop accordingly. Like in Shoprite, quite a bit. The results that they came up with were quite strong. Uh, they were quite strong. Nsibande as well, looking nice, holding that resistance there. What was resistance is now holding back as support as it tries to enter back into this lower box. But support holding tells me that we're looking good in the stock. So when we close above that 74 and perhaps if we close above 75, I'll add into the position and accordingly trail my stop to just below that support there around that 62 rand, 61 rand 80 level on the trade, and I just add into my position. I like adding when I'm right. I like to be big when I'm right, and then small when I'm wrong. I just That's just the nature of trend following. Transaction capital, man, I just like the stock, looking quite good. It stuck on this range for a while. I entered on the break from that range there. Nice break. Entered. We had a nice break again, and then we came back into a lower box. But when we broke back into a higher box, I then added again into that box, into the trade, and then we broke to an even higher box, added again into the trade, pulling my stop behind me accordingly. When we break through, when we close about 30 rand, I'll add into the trade. Supposed to be, yeah. When it close above 30 rand, I'll add into the position. Maybe perhaps tomorrow. I thought I was going to add into the trade today, but the market came back down. Perhaps if tomorrow we close above that 30 rand level, I'll add into the position and throw my stop accordingly on transaction capital. Yeah, the stock looking quite like a Kosimpile is asking, where do you see information on margin requirements on different instruments? If you go to the Thick Markets website and search for market info, you'll find all the information there. But however, I do have I will put that link on the video description on YouTube. So if you check out the video on YouTube, you'll find that link there of market information. It tells you all the instruments that you can trade on the Thick Markets platform, and also the margin requirements and that sort of thing, and LIBOR, interest rates, and like everything that you need to know regarding the um, instruments that you can trade on the Think Markets platform. So another thing that I've decided, so I've created a USD account. So I'm going to be trading the laser system on the S&P 500 ETF and also on the Russell 200 ETF as well. S&P did look like it was triggering. And I'll also do email alerts. So if you wanted email alerts on the SPY or the S&P 500 ETF, do subscribe on the Village Trader website. The website is back up, villagetrader.co.za, but I'll have the link to the subscription form on the video description as well. So whenever there's a event on the laser system, on the SPY, and also on the Russell 2000, I'll bang you an email and just to alert you that there's something to look out for. So a trigger, we did have a trigger a couple of days ago, but that trigger failed yesterday. Looking like we're going to have another trigger today. We'll see, because this the S&P, the US market closed at about 11 o'clock our time and open 4:30. So it also fits nicely within my work schedule. So I can enter positions after 4:30, and I can analyze them after 11 in the evening. But obviously I'll do that in the morning because I'm an early riser. So in any case, yeah. So if you want to be alerted, just subscribe on the Village Trader, villagetrader.co.za there. So also a few days ago we had a trigger that failed. So if an index or an ETF closes back below that 15-day exponential moving average, the trigger is failed if it closes below the 15-day exponential moving average before confirming. So that trigger failed, so we would not have taken that position. And that's the importance of the two-step entry system, because you get a trigger and then you wait for confirmation. And every trigger that doesn't confirm, it was going to be a trade that is going to lose you money. For example, case in point, this one, trigger, another trigger that didn't confirm, another one that was going to lose you money, and you were then this was another trigger, confirmation, and we would have been stopped out yesterday at a modest loss on the stock. So I'm going to be trading this $100 account, but I'll similarly in the ZAR account, I'll be adding into this account incrementally as the time goes by. So yeah, I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. We can run through all these charts if you guys want. Cool. No questions coming in. So yeah, ladies and gents, we're gonna park it there. Yeah, ladies and gents, we're gonna park it there. Remember, Think Markets doing weekly webinars as well. Yeah, thank you very much. Stay safe. The video will be up later this evening. Do subscribe to the Village Trader YouTube channel. Click the bell notification button so that when the videos come up, you'll be notified accordingly. Ladies and gents, thank you. See you next week again. Have a great evening and stay safe. Cheers all.